students. So let me welcome you all to my 10th video on the chapter P block elements. In the previous video, we started the discussion on group 17 elements, that is halogens, wherein we discussed general properties of group 17 elements, that includes physical and chemical properties, right? Now, the next discussion is, of course, anomalous properties of fluorine, important discussion for the examination point of view. Being the first element of the group 17, it exhibits certain anomalous properties, properties which are entirely different from those of the other family members, and that will be anomalous properties. The first anomalous property of fluorine is, fluorine is highly reactive. Among the elements in the group 17, the reactivity of fluorine is very, very high. That is, element with highest reactivity, that is fluorine. Remaining elements are less reactive than, yes, it is fluorine there. That is one anomalous property. Second anomalous property is, that is, fluorine exhibits only one oxidation state, that is -1 state. Fluorine is available in the form of, yes, it is F-, that is. The only one oxidation state is possible for, yes, it is fluorine there, but remaining elements of the group 17 will exhibit +1, +3, right, +5, and of course +7. These are the other possible oxidation states in the case of group 17 elements, but fluorine exhibits only one oxidation state. Other family members will exhibit these positive oxidation states in addition to the negative oxidation state, that is -1, is it not? So this is one more anomalous properties, and the reason is quite clear, because fluorine doesn't have any d orbitals in its valence shell, but other family members will have d orbitals in their valence shell. Because of that, this is the property there. Yes. A third anomalous property is, that is one of the hydrides of fluorine, that is hydrogen fluoride. It undergoes intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Yes, that's one of the hydrides of group 17 elements, that is hydrogen fluoride. It undergoes intermolecular hydrogen bonding, whereas other hydrides of group 17 like HCl, HBr, Hi, they do not undergo, yes, it is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. These are the hydrides of group 17 elements, right? Except hydrogen fluoride, other hydrides of group 17, they do not undergo intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Only HF undergoes intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Because of that, HF is a liquid, yes. Because of that intermolecular hydrogen bonding, hydrogen fluoride is a liquid, whereas other, yes, it is family members, or that is the other hydrides of, yes, it is group 17 or gases there, and that is what we call it as one more anomalous property as far as fluorine is concerned. Apart from that, that is fluorine is characterized by only one oxyacid. Fluorine is characterized by, yes, it is only one oxyacid. Only one oxyacid of fluorine is available, that is hypofluorous acid. That is, fluorine has only one oxyacid, that is hypofluorous acid. Other family members will have more than one oxyacids, but this particular fluorine is characterized by only one oxyacid, that is hypofluorous acid. That is one more than. Apart from that, that is SRP of, yes, it is fluorine is highest. SRP of fluorine is highest. Because of that, it is a powerful oxidizing agent, is it not? SRP of fluorine is highest. Fluorine is characterized by highest SRP. Because of that, a powerful oxidizing agent in group 17 there. That is one more anomalous property. So that is what we call it as, these are the some anomalous properties that we can list out as far as fluorine is concerned in group 17. And the reasons for the anomalous properties is similar to the reasons in the case of oxygen and, yes, it is nitrogen. Reasons are there, there are four reasons. One is a very small size of fluorine atom is one reason for the anomalous property. Second reason is fluorine is characterized by highest electronegativity, that is one more reason for the anomalous properties of fluorine. Third one is, it is characterized by high ionization enthalpy, that is another reason for the anomalous properties of fluorine. And of course, fourth reason is non-availability of d orbitals. That is fluorine doesn't have that is d orbitals in its valence shell. I can include one more anomalous property under fluorine, that is fluorine can form two types of oxide, only two oxide, that is oxygen fluoride, another is dioxygen fluoride. These are the compounds of fluorine with oxygen. Yes, but other family members like chlorine can form varieties of oxides like Cl2O5, Cl2O3, and of course ClO2, and of course Cl2O, then it is Cl2O7. These are the different types of oxides which will be possible for other family members, but fluorine can form only two types of oxides. One is oxygen fluoride and dioxygen fluoride. And of course, as far as OF2 and OTF2 are concerned, they are very good fluorinating agents. OF2 and OTF2 are very good fluorinating agents. Because of that, they can bring about fluorination of plutonium. That is, when O2F2, that is, or dioxygen difluoride, reacts with plutonium, it is converted into plutonium hexafluoride. And of course, you need 3O2F2, and of course 3O2. That this is conversion of plutonium into plutonium hexafluoride. So these are some anomalous properties that we can list out, and also the reasons for the anomalous properties of fluorine. Yes, so that is what we call it as anomalous properties of fluorine now. Yes. Now at this moment we'll go to some individual discussions. That is, as far as your NCERT textbook is concerned, we are supposed to study that chlorine and the compounds of chlorine, right? That is the next discussion under group 17 there. We'll see first of all one of the members of group 17 elements, that is chlorine there. This is greenish yellow colored gas. Greenish yellow colored gas, and because of that, the name chlorine for this. Now in Latin literature, chlorus means green. Because of that, because of its color, the name chlorine is given to this. And of course, it was discovered by the scientist Scheele. Scheele discovered this particular chlorine there. And of course, under this chlorine, you are supposed to study preparation and properties of chlorine there. So we'll see first of all preparation of chlorine there. Yes, that one method for the preparation of chlorine is very simple method. When concentrated hydrochloric acid is heated with manganese oxide. When concentrated hydrochloric acid is heated with manganese oxide, MnO2 there, that is heating there. Upon heating hydrochloric acid with manganese oxide, you are going to get corresponding chloride along with the formation of water and chlorine there. This is one method for the preparation of chlorine there. That is, manganese oxide oxidizes hydrochloric acid to chlorine there upon heating. And here you need to balance it, right? MnO2 is there, here it is H2O, therefore go for 2 H2O. Then hydrogen becomes 4 and go for the 4 here, is it not? Then hydrogen will be 4, chlorine will be 2 here, and here is 2, equation is balanced. This is one method for the preparation of chlorine. And as far as this hydrochloric acid is concerned, the hydrochloric acid required for the preparation of chlorine can be obtained by the action of concentrated sulfuric acid. The hydrochloric acid required for the preparation of chlorine can be obtained by the action of concentrated sulfuric acid and sodium chloride to form NaHSO4 there, and of course HCl there. This is hydrochloric acid that is required for the preparation of chlorine here. ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಕ್ಲೋರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಪಡಿಬಹುದು, ಹೌದಾ? Therefore, if I combine these two reactions, ಈ ಎರಡು reactions ಅನ್ನು combine ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ Look at this MnO2 there plus 4HCl, right? This reaction is combined. Then you are going to get, yes, it is MnCl2, yes, it is 2H2O, and of course plus Cl2, right? This equation is combined. You have reactions add, right? Cancel the common term. HCl is 4HCl is, illu kuda HCl is, I multiplied by 4. Again, that if the similar substances in the opposite sides, that is HCl in the reactant side, HCl in the product side, they get cancelled. You multiply by 4 in the other end, and it will be 4 NaCl, yes. And of course, here it is 4H2SO4, right? 4H2SO4, right? Plus here in the reactant side we have MnO2 there, yes. And that gives, yes, it is product side only. Yes, it is 4 NaHSO4, sodium bisulfate, yes. And it is MnCl2, manganese chloride, and of course plus 2H2O, right? And of course plus chlorine. This is the reaction here. But in our textbook, directly this reaction is given there. And of course that can be obtained by combining these two reactions. This is, I feel this is simple. HCl, NaCl reaction with H2SO4 to give HCl. That oxidized by MnO2 to give chlorine there. And of course this is what we call it as preparation of, yes, it is chlorine from the HCl there, by the oxidation of hydrochloric acid in the presence of manganese oxide. And of course it's a very good oxidizing agent, right? Apart from that, the second method for the preparation of chlorine is by the action of potassium permanganate, one more very good oxidizing agent. When potassium permanganate reacts with concentrated hydrochloric acid, simple mixing, even heating is not required here. That leads to the formation of, yes, it is potassium chloride, manganese chloride, yes, and of course water there, and of course chlorine there. These are the products there. When potassium permanganate crystals are simply mixed with concentrated hydrochloric acid, you are going to get chlorine gas. Of course, greenish yellow chloric gas is liberated. Okay, now that of course you can do it in our laboratory. And of course, when potassium permanganate reacts with concentrated hydrochloric acid, you are going to get chlorine here. Balance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ 4 oxygen atoms ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, go for it, 4H2 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ. ಆವಾಗ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು, 8 ಆಯ್ತು, therefore it is 8HCl ಆಯ್ತು, ಹೌದಾ? 8HCl ಆಯ್ತು. And of course chlorine ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 8 chlorine ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 3, and of course here it is yes, it is 5 chlorine atoms ಇದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ 8 chlorine ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ 8 ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ I go for it, 5/2 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದಲ್ಲ. 5/2 Cl2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 plus 3 8, equation is balanced. And of course if you want to, yes, it is avoid fractions, and the whole equation is multiplied by, yes, it is 2 ಅಲ್ವಾ. fractions ಅನ್ನು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ whole equation ಇಂದ 2 ಇಂದ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it will be 2 KMnO4 plus 8 into 2 is 16 HCl, right? And that gives, yes, it is 2 KCl plus 2 MnCl2 plus 8 H2O there, yes. And of course 5/2 Cl2 into 2 is, yes, it is 5 Cl2. This is how you can balance this equation there. ನಿಮ್ಮ book ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ if you want to write all these things, you need ಬಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು I don't prefer that. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಬರೀತೀನಿ, ನಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. This is another method for the preparation of chlorine. When potassium permanganate, yes, when potassium permanganate reacts with, yes, it is concentrated hydrochloric acid, you are going to get chlorine gas here. This is what we call it as second method for the preparation of, yes, it is chlorine here. Apart from that, you are supposed to study manufacture of, yes, it is chlorine there. Manufacture of chlorine can be, yes, it is carried out by the process called Deacon's method. This is Deacon's method for the manufacture of, yes, it is chlorine there. And that too by the catalytic oxidation of, yes, it is hydrochloric acid using oxygen in presence of a catalyst, cupric chloride, at about 723 kelvins. This is catalytic oxidation of hydrochloric acid to liberate, yes, it is chlorine gas along with the formation of water here. This is the one more method for the preparation of, yes, it is chlorine here. And of course if you want to balance it, you go for it, yes, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ O2 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ H2 ಇದೆ, 2H2 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ hydrogen 4 ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಈಗ, then it will be 4HCl. ಅವಾಗ 4Cl ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, there it will be 2Cl2. This is the manufacture of chlorine by the catalytic oxidation of hydrochloric acid in presence of cupric chloride there. In presence of cupric chloride catalyst. And of course you need to maintain a temperature of, yes, it is 723 kelvin. So apart from that, next fourth method is by the electrolysis of aqueous solution of sodium chloride, that is, ಅಥವಾ by the electrolysis of brine solution we call it as, that is, chlorine can be prepared by electrolysis of brine solution. Brine solution is saturated solution of sodium chloride from seawater. Seawater is characterized by huge quantity of sodium chloride. Seawater is nothing but that is a solution of sodium chloride in addition to the other dissolved salts. When all the other salts are removed from the seawater, you will have a sodium chloride solution, that is saturated solution of sodium chloride from seawater. That is what we call it as brine solution. When this brine solution is subjected to electrolysis, you are going to get chlorine gas at anode and of course hydrogen gas at cathode. We studied this particular, yes, it is electrolysis of brine solution ಅಥವಾ aqueous solution of sodium chloride in electrochemistry, where chlorine gas liberated at anode, hydrogen gas at cathode. So this is what we call another method for the manufacture of chlorine, and that is by electrolysis of brine solution. So this is what we call it as the preparation and manufacture of chlorine as per your NCERT textbook, right? Apart from that, you are supposed to study some physical and chemical properties of chlorine here, right? I said it is greenish yellow colored gas and of course heavier than air, can be easily liquefied. Can be easily liquefied by applying pressure, or you can say by cooling. So this is what we call it as chlorine here. And as far as properties are concerned, you are supposed to study action of acetic chlorine on metals first, right? How that acetic chlorine reacts with metals. So now that is when metals like aluminium, yes, it is sodium, and of course when chlorine reacts with metals like aluminium, sodium and iron there, yes. When aluminium reacts with chlorine, you are going to get corresponding chloride, aluminium chloride. When sodium reacts with chlorine, of course you are going to get, yes, it is sodium chloride. When iron reacts with chlorine, you are going to get, yes, it is corresponding chloride, ferric chloride. So metals react with chlorine to form the respective chlorides. And if you want to balance it, you go for it, yes, it is Cl3 ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ 3/2 Cl2 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ multiply to your 2, ಅವಾಗ chlorine 6 ಆಯ್ತು, ಹಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು 3Cl2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This is the balancing equation, that is 2Al ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ you go for this 2Al there. Yes, the equation is balanced, ಹೌದಾ? Apart from that, sodium chloride Cl2 ಇದೆ, 2NaCl, therefore it is 2 there. Similar to this, 3Cl2 and of course 2Fe there, and of course it is 2FeCl3. Aluminium is converted to aluminium chloride, sodium is converted to sodium chloride, iron will be converted to ferric chloride. That is the action of chlorine on metals there. Apart from that, chlorine and can also react with non-metals there. Chlorine can also react with non-metals. Under non-metals, we have selected that phosphorus, sulfur and hydrogen. These are the non-metals there. When phosphorus reacts with chlorine, you are going to get phosphorus trichloride. When phosphorus reacts with chlorine, you are going to get phosphorus trichloride. P4 ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 4PCl3 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ chlorine 12 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಗ 6Cl2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. This is balancing there. And of course here it is Cl2 there. You are going to get disulfur dichloride there. When sulfur in the form of S8 reacts with chlorine, you are going to get disulfur dichloride. I already gave the name of that. Yes, ಈಗ S8 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 4S2Cl2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಗ sulfur 8 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, chlorine 8 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, therefore it is 4Cl2 there. Yes, when sulfur is heated with chlorine, you are going to get disulfur dichloride. Yes, this is one more there. And of course when chlorine reacts with hydrogen, of course chlorine readily reacts with hydrogen to form hydrochloric acid. So this is what we call action of, yes, it is non-metals there. Phosphorus reacts with chlorine to give phosphorus trichloride, disulfur dichloride, hydrochloric acid. Apart from that, chlorine has got much affinity with hydrogen. Yes, it readily reacts with the compounds containing hydrogen like hydrogen sulfide and of course cetan, get 16 as per your NCERT textbook. You are supposed to study action of chlorine on these two compounds. These are the compounds containing hydrogen. Chlorine has got much affinity with hydrogen, and here it converts hydrogen sulfide to sulfur, and of course hydrogen is removed in the form of HCl there. Here this chlorine reacts with C10H6, and that leads to the formation of acetate 10C, and of course 16HCl there. All the hydrogen atoms are converted to hydrochloric acid. 16HCl ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 8Cl2 here, 10C. This is what we call it as reaction of chlorine on certain compounds containing hydrogen here. Because of its affinity with hydrogen, it converts hydrogen into hydrochloric acid. That is the one more there. Apart from that, as per your NCERT textbook, you are supposed to study action of acetate chlorine on ammonia there. Yes. That is property number, yes, it is 5 there, that is 4 it is. That is action of ammonia there. And of course, ammonia reacts with chlorine under different conditions. Look at this. When ammonia there, when NH3, you know that when it reacts with chlorine, if I use excess ammonia here, this point correct notice ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. When excess ammonia reacts with chlorine, and that leads to the formation of ammonium chloride with the liberation of nitrogen gas. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ how I am going to balance the things, that equations that you have to properly notice. ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾನೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್, ammonium, excess ammonia reacts with chlorine, you are going to get ammonium chloride and nitrogen gas. If you want to balance this, you know, I go for it. Yes, it is not. Oxidation number of nitrogen is -3 in ammonia. Oxidation of nitrogen is 0 there. ಈ nitrogen ಅಲ್ಲಿ oxidation number 0 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ -3 ಇದೆ. Calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ -3 becomes 0. ಅಂದ್ರೆ what is the change? 3. Multiply 3 here. Yes, the change of oxidation number change of nitrogen is multiplied to this. ಆಗ 3Cl2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 3Cl2 ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ yes, number of chlorine atoms ಆಗುತ್ತೆ 6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Therefore go for 6 ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಒಂದೇ ಇದೆ, 6 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬೇಡಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಆಗ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 8 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? 8 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್, 8 into 3 24, 6 into 4 24. Equation is balanced. When excess ammonia reacts with chlorine, you are going to get, yes, it is ammonium chloride and of course nitrogen gas. Similarly, when ammonia reacts with excess chlorine, look at the conditions here. Your excess ammonia reacts with chlorine, but here excess chlorine reacts with ammonia, and then you are going to get nitrogen trichloride and of course explosive compound it is, and that is nitrogen trichloride. We said, of course, while discussing properties of nitrogen, trihalides of nitrogen are unstable, NCl3 along with the formation of HCl here. You know, NH3 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ make it 3HCl, chlorine 6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, that is 3Cl2. That is, when ammonia reacts with excess chlorine, you are going to get nitrogen trichloride, an unstable explosive compound, along with the formation of hydrochloric acid. When excess ammonia reacts with chlorine, you are going to get ammonium chloride and nitrogen. So this is what we call it as action of ammonia. And of course, as far as group 17 elements are concerned, under group 17, you can expect 3-mark question. And most of the questions are complete the incomplete equations ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ equations are very important as far as group 17 elements are concerned. And then next property to be discussed is, yes, it is action of sodium hydroxide. Yes, that is sodium hydroxide. This is also action of sodium hydroxide and chlorine will be discussed under 2 different conditions. Look at this, one more important reaction. When cold and dilute sodium hydroxide solution reacts with chlorine, and you are going to get NaClO and of course NaCl and of course plus H2O there. So this is the product there. This is sodium hypochlorite. This is sodium hypochlorite. Yes. So this is sodium hypochlorite. Okay, now that is when sodium hydroxide reacts with chlorine, you are going to get sodium hypochlorite, and of course sodium chloride here. Look at the interesting observation here. Oxidation number of chlorine is 0 there. Here oxidation number of chlorine is +1. Means chlorine 0 becomes +1. Means chlorine undergoes oxidation, right? Same thing. Here it is 0, but here in this case it is -1. Sodium hypochlorite alli oxidation number of chlorine +1. Ade oxidation number of chlorine -1 in sodium chloride. This is sodium chloride. Make out the difference. So correct the difference. What is sodium hypochlorite and this is sodium chloride. So oxidation number increases, oxidation. 0 becomes +1, oxidation. 0 becomes -1, reduction. Means chlorine undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. Therefore, this is an example for disproportionation reaction. This is an example for disproportionation reaction, where one substance undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. So that is chlorine there. Here we have 2 sodium atoms, hagagi 2 NaOH. I think equation is balanced. And of course this is the equation there. When cold and dilute sodium hydroxide reacts with chlorine, you are going to get sodium hypochlorite and sodium chloride here. Yes, this is an example for disproportionation reaction. Similarly, when sodium hydroxide reacts with chlorine and that too hot and concentrated solution of sodium hydroxide, conditions are different. Your cold and dilute solution of sodium hydroxide, your hot and concentrated solution of sodium hydroxide that reacts with sodium chloride to give sodium chlorate. This is sodium chlorate, NaClO3, along with the formation of, yes, it is NaCl and of course S2 over there. Once again you observe here, oxidation number of chlorine is 0 here. Here it is +5. You can calculate oxidation number of chlorine is +5 here. Here it is -1. Means oxidation number of chlorine 0 becomes +5, oxidation. 0 becomes -1, reduction. Chlorine undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. One more example for disproportionation reaction. Now and look at the change here. 0 becomes 5 change. 0 becomes -1, 1 change. Total change is 6. Multiply here. Balance balance 5 NaOH ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ, therefore it is, yes it is 5 NaCl ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 6 Na ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 Na ಇಲ್ಲಿ 5 NaCl ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ 6 ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ, therefore it is 3Cl2 there. Therefore it is 3Cl2. Yes, ಇಲ್ಲಿ equation hydrogen R ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇದೆ, therefore it is 3H2O. And of course equation is balanced here. When hot and concentrated solution of sodium hydroxide reacts with chlorine, you are going to get sodium chlorate along with the formation of sodium chloride here. This is one more property and as far as chlorine is concerned. And both are the examples for disproportionation reaction, where chlorine undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. Yes. The next is of course one more important reaction for the examination point of view, that is action of Slater lime. Now that we have different forms of lime. Quick lime anta ide, that is calcium oxide. Lime water anta ide, calcium hydroxide. Innondu Slater lime anta ide. This is quick lime, calcium oxide. This is calcium hydroxide, lime water anta ಕರೀತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? Lime water prepare ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? You take lime powder, ಸುಣ್ಣದ powder ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀರಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಲಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ. You mix that lime powder to water, yes, and that you stir well. Allow it to stay for some time. ಆ ಮಿಕ್ಸರ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಂಗೆ ಬಿಡಿ, ಅವಾಗ ತಿಳಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ತಿಳಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು lime water, that is calcium hydroxide. And if you mix that powder with water, you are going to get, yes, it is Slater lime. ತಿಳಿ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಲೈಮ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಮ್ ವಾಟರ್ ವಿತ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸುಣ್ಣದ ರಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೋದ್ರಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಸುಣ್ಣದ ರಾಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ರಾಡಿ ಕೆಸರು ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ತರ ಸುಣ್ಣ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀರಿಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಲಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದೇ Slater lime. ಓಕೆನಾ? When chlorine is passed through Slater lime, that is calcium hydroxide, yes, that leads to the formation of, yes, it is calcium hypochlorite. ನೋಡಿ, CaOCl twice, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು twice, OCl ಗೆ twice ಹಾಕಿ, and of course calcium chloride and of course water. This is what we call it as reaction there. ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನಿಸಿ, CaOCl twice, calcium hypochlorite. This is calcium hypochlorite. This is calcium hypochlorite. Yes. When chlorine gas is passed through slaked lime, this is a point ಬರಿಬೇಕು. Slaked lime ಅಂತಾನೆ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. Slaked lime ಆಗಲಿ lime water ಆಗಿ composition ಒಂದೇನೆ CaOH twice. You are going to get a mixture of calcium hypochlorite, calcium chloride and water there. ಎರಡು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 2Ca ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು ಹೌದಾ. ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 4 ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2Cl2 ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು ಹೌದಾ. ಈಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ವಾಟರ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ 4 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇದೆ, and of course it is 2H2. This is what we call it as the products there, and of course whatever the products that we got, you know, that is CaOCl twice, CaCl2 dot, and of course then it is CaOH twice, and of course dot 2H2O. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇವಿಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. CaOCl2 CaOCl twice, CaCl2 2H2O, then unreacted calcium hydroxide CaOH twice, and this particular mixture, whatever the mixture that you got, you know, this is called as bleaching powder. So what we use this bleaching powder as a disinfectant, in order to kill the microorganisms or the inanimate objects, we use this bleaching powder. Yes, adala, this is composition of bleaching powder. CaOCl twice, CaCl2, CaOH twice dot 2H2O. This is the composition of, yes, it is bleaching powder. Agboda. So chlorine can be used for the manufacture of bleaching powder by passing chlorine gas through, yes, it is slaked lime, a paste of lime powder in water. That is called slaked lime, right? Now at this moment, we'll go to the some more properties there, right? That is oxidizing properties of, yes, it is chlorine there. Chlorine is very good oxidizing agent, or you can say group 17 elements are very good oxidizing agents because they have got highly positive SRP value. Their SRP values are highly positive, therefore they are very good oxidizing agents. That is especially in presence of water. Chlorine acts as an oxidizing agent in presence of water, and that leads to formation of, yes, it is HCl and HOCl. This is hypochlorous acid. This is hypochlorous acid. When chlorine is passed through water, you are going to get hydrochloric acid and hypochlorous acid. And that is earlier the solution of chlorine in water is green colored solution. If it is allowed to stay for some time, the green color will be removed because of the conversion of chlorine into HCl and HOCl. This HOCl is unstable, decomposes to produce nascent oxygen. And because of the formation of this nascent oxygen, when chlorine comes in contact with water, due to the formation of this nascent oxygen, chlorine acts as an oxidizing agent in presence of water. Yes, under oxidizing properties, you know, you are supposed to study some, yes, it is the action of, yes, it is ferrous sulfate. That is when acidified ferrous sulfate, that is FeSO4, in presence of dilute sulfuric acid. Yes, when chlorine is passed through acidified ferrous sulfate solution, this is ferrous sulfate solution. Yes, when chlorine is passed through acidified ferrous sulfate solution, it oxidizes ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate there. Fe2SO4 thrice. Chlorine oxidizes ferrous sulfate to ferric sulfate, and of course along with the formation of HCl here. Yes, Fe2 irodrinda, go for it, 2FeSO4, right? Alright, this is what we call it as oxidation of, yes, it is ferrous sulfate into ferric sulfate. Ferrous sulfate is oxidized to ferric sulfate when chlorine gas is passed through, yes, it is acidified ferrous sulfate solution. Second one is when chlorine gas is passed through sulfur dioxide there. When chlorine gas is passed through sulfur dioxide in presence of water, I said chlorine is an oxidizing agent in presence of water that oxidizes sulfur dioxide to sulfuric acid along with the formation of HCl here. Along with the formation of HCl, you balance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Yes, it is Cl2 ಇದೆ, therefore 2HCl ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Hydrogen ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ 4 ಆಯ್ತು, therefore it is 2H2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, right? And chlorine reacts with sulfur dioxide in presence of water. So when sulfur dioxide gas is passed through solution of chlorine water, you are going to get sulfuric acid. Okay, na? And of course, as far as last reaction is concerned, under the oxidation property, that is oxidizing property of chlorine. Next reaction to be discussed as per your NCERT book is, that is when chlorine gas is passed through. When chlorine gas is passed through, yes, it is sodium sulfide solution. This is sodium sulfide. When chlorine gas is passed through sodium sulfide, you are going to get, yes, it is sodium sulfate there, along with the formation of HCl. Along with the formation of HCl. Okay? We go for it. H2Cl2, therefore it is 2HCl. That means chlorine oxidizes sodium sulfite into sodium sulfate here. Chlorine oxidizes sodium sulfite into sodium sulfate. Yes. Under oxidizing properties, that is, we are supposed to study action of chlorine on, yes, it is iodine there. Yes, it is. Fourth one is when iodine reacts with, yes, it is chlorine in presence of water. Yes, I said chlorine is an oxidizing agent in presence of water. Chlorine oxidizes iodine to corresponding iodic acid HiO3, and of course along with the formation of HCl. This is iodic acid. Chlorine oxidizes iodine to iodic acid. Yes, now the oxidation number of 0 becomes plus 5. Yes, oxidation number of iodine changes, 0 becomes plus 5. Again, 5 is the change. You multiply 5 here. Okay? 5 multiply ಮಾಡಿದ yes, it is ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, that is O3 ಇದೆ, therefore it is 3H2O, right? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ that is I2 ಇದೆ, therefore it is 2HiO3, right? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, therefore it is 6H2O, right? ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? 6H2O ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ 12 ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 2 ಇದೆ, therefore it is 10HCl, right? 12 hydrogen ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ already 2 hydrogen ಇದೆ, 10HCl, and of course this is 5Cl2. Equation is balanced, right? ಹೇಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? That is ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. That is when this is iodine reacts with, yes, it is chlorine in presence of water to give iodic acid HiO3, and of course along with the formation of HCl. ಹೌದಾ? Oxidation number of iodine is 0, and here it is plus 5. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 0 becomes plus 5. What is the change? 5. The change in oxidation number of iodine is multiplied to chlorine. 5Cl2 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಡಿ. I2 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 2HiO3 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ 6 ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ 6H2O ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ 12 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 2 ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಬರಿಬೇಕು ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್. ಆಗ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, and it is 5Cl2. That is iodine is oxidized to iodic acid. This is what we call it as oxidizing properties of, yes, it is chlorine, and that is what we call oxidizing properties. Okay, na? Now let us see one more property of chlorine, that is bleaching property of chlorine. And when chlorine is passed through certain objects, it is going to remove colors of the objects. That's why it is called as bleaching agent. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಬ್ಲೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ that has to remove the colors from the objects. When chlorine is passed through certain objects, that is going to remove the colors. That's why it is called as bleaching agent. The bleaching action of chlorine is because of oxidation. Because when chlorine comes in contact with water, it produces nascent oxygen, right? Then when that chlorine, yes, is passed through, yes, it is one colored substance, it removes colors of the, yes, it is objects, and you are going to get colorless objects. You are going to get colorless substance, and that is what we call it as bleaching action. Chlorine bleaches by oxidation, therefore bleaching action of chlorine is permanent. Because of that, bleaching action of chlorine is permanent there. And you can say that we have one more bleaching agent like sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide gas also that removes colors from the substances. That's why it is also called as bleaching agent. But sulfur dioxide bleaches by reduction. Sulfur dioxide bleaches by reduction. Therefore, bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary, whereas bleaching action of chlorine is permanent. That is because it bleaches by, yes, it is oxidation, whereas sulfur dioxide bleaches by reduction. So that is what we call it as bleaching action of chlorine. Because of that, this chlorine is used to bleach the dark colors of the wood pulp in paper industries. Because of that, this chlorine is used for removing dark color of the wood pulp in paper industries and textile industries, right? So that is what we call it as bleaching action of chlorine. Apart from that, as per your, yes, it is NCERT textbook, you are supposed to study that is action of hydrocarbons. That is action of hydrocarbons, right? That chlorine reacts with hydrocarbons like methane and of course ethane, right? When methane reacts with chlorine in presence of diffuse sunlight, you studied this reaction in first PUC, that leads to the formation of chloromethane and of course HCl. This is substitution reaction. All the hydrogen atoms of methane can be replaced by chlorine. You are going to get chloromethane. Like that, similarly, when chlorine reacts with this, it is ethene. This is ethene, yes. Then addition of chlorine across the double bond takes place. Double bond is converted to single bond, and of course you are going to get dichloroethane. That is double bond is converted to single bond. This is dichloroethane. That is. This is one more property there. Yes, this is. Apart from that, as I already told, that is C10. Yes, it is yes, it is 16. This is also called as turpentine anta ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು turpentine oil anta ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ? Turpentine. This is the composition of turpentine is C10H6. When it reacts with chlorine, yes. When it reacts with chlorine, yes. Burning of turpentine in presence of chlorine takes place. That leads to the formation of, yes, it is carbon there, and of course along with the formation of 16HCl, and of course it will be HCl2. This is the action of hydrocarbons, and of course this is also called as turpentine. Turpentine can be burned in presence of chlorine because chlorine has got much affinity with hydrogen. That leads to the formation of carbon and hydrochloric acid. So this is what we call it as action of hydrocarbons, right? So these are the some uses, some chemical properties as far as chlorine is concerned that we are supposed to discuss under this particular, yes, it is discussion. Okay now? And apart from that, you are supposed to study uses of chlorine. As I already said, chlorine is very good bleaching agent. Therefore, it is used to bleach the colors of the wood pulp in paper industries. That is one use there. Apart from that, this chlorine can be used to sterilize drinking water. Now, when chlorine gas is passed through drinking water, with the required quantities, that chlorine is going to kill the microorganisms present in water there. So that is why chlorine is used as a sterilizing agent. Apart from that, this chlorine is yes, it is used in the manufacture of various useful organic compounds like carbon tetrachloride, as it is chloroform, yes, and those compounds can be used in the manufacture of various drugs, dyes, that is what we call it as one more use of that chlorine. Apart from that, this chlorine is used in the manufacture of some poisonous gases. This chlorine is used in the manufacture of some poisonous gases like phosgene, that is carbonyl chloride, that is phosgene. This is phosgene that can be prepared by using chlorine there. Apart from that, we have CCl3NO2 there. This is a tear gas, we call it as. This is called as tear gas. It causes tears in your eyes when you are exposed to that particular gas. This is trichloronitromethane, tear gas. Apart from that, we have, that you might have heard about this poisonous gas, that is mustard gas. This is mustard gas prepared during Second World War. It was used to kill the soldiers of the opposite sides. So that is mustard gas. This is one more. Yes, it is poisonous gas there, mustard gas. So in order to prepare mustard gas, you need, yes, it is ethene there. When ethene reacts with disulfur dichloride or sulfur monochloride, and of course addition of yes, it is disulfur dichloride takes place across the double bonds. That leads to the formation of, yes, it is Cl, then it is CH2, then it is CS2, right? One chlorine is attached to chlorine, double bond is converted to single bond, and to this we have sulfur can be connected. This is CS2, then it is CS2, and it is Cl with the formation of sulfur here. This is what we call it as mustard gas that can be prepared by reacting ethene gas with disulfur dichloride. That is one more use of this particular, yes, it is chlorine there, yes. So that is at the same time, chlorine is a very good oxidizing agent, yes. So So this is what we call it as something about chlorine. Okay, now at this moment, you are supposed to study one of the compounds of acetic chlorine, that is hydrochloric acid. One of the compounds of chlorine, that is hydrochloric acid, and of course this formula is HCl there. Colorless pungent smelling gas, highly soluble in water, can be easily liquefied by applying pressure. This is what we call hydrochloric acid. As per your NCERT textbook, you are supposed to study preparation of hydrochloric acid, like when sodium chloride reacts with this, it is concentrated sulfuric acid. When sodium chloride reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid at about 420 kelvins, you are going to get HCl there along with the formation of sodium bisulfate. Yes, and this sodium bisulfate form can undergo further reaction with sodium chloride at about 823 kelvins, right? This sodium bisulfate form, NaHSO4, that again reacts with sodium chloride at about 823 kelvins, and you are going to get sodium sulfate, Na2SO4, and of course HCl here. Yes, and of course the equation is balanced, and whatever the HCl gas that is produced, that can be dried by passing through, yes, it is concentrated sulfuric acid. This HCl formed, it will be associated with some moisture. The moisture present in the HCl gas can be removed by passing it through concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a very good dehydrating agent that removes water present in HCl gas. Apart from that, yes, under the properties of acetic hydrochloric acid, you are supposed to study, that is acidic property of hydrochloric acid, right? Very strong acid it is. This yes, it is a strong acid, right? It undergoes complete dissociation in presence of water, right? And that is when HCl comes in contact with water, it donates H plus to water and gets converted to Cl minus, and of course you are going to get hydronium ion. The dissociation constant of this particular reaction is very, very high. This is 10 to the power of 7 there. Because of that HCl is a strong acid, undergoes almost complete dissociation in water. So this is what we call it as acidic property. In order to justify that, when HCl gas comes in contact with ammonia, you are going to get, yes, it is solid ammonium chloride. HCl is a gas, ammonia is a gas, but you are going to get ammonium chloride, that's a solid. And this is one reaction that I can use in order to detect the presence of chloride in the salt. Just remember, when chloride salt is mixed with concentrated sulfuric acid, you are going to get colorless gas. When that colorless gas is exposed to ammonia, glass rod dipped in ammonia is held over the test tube. Again, the liberation of dense white fumes increases. That there is a formation of dense white fumes takes place. Formation of dense white fumes, is due to the formation of ammonium chloride. When HCl gas comes in contact with ammonia, you are going to get solid ammonium chloride. So that is because of this, HCl gas can be used in the manufacture of ammonium chloride. Yes, so that is another reaction. Apart from that, as per your NCERT textbook is concerned, you are supposed to study, that is action of aqua regia on metals. Action of aqua regia on metals there. Yes, this aqua regia, it's a mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid. When 3 parts by mass of hydrochloric acid reacts with 1 part by mass of concentrated nitric acid, that is, when 3 parts by mass of concentrated hydrochloric acid is mixed with 1 part by mass of concentrated nitric acid, you are going to get aqua regia. The significance of this aqua regia there? Highly reactive reagent. Yes, the mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid in the ratio 3:1, highly reactive. It can dissolve noble metals like gold and platinum. That what we say generally, noble metals like gold and platinum are least reactive. But I can dissolve gold and platinum in the mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid, and because of that, this aqua regia is used in the extraction of gold and platinum. Because of that, this aqua regia is used in the Yes, it is extraction of gold and platinum because it's a very good solvent for gold and platinum. Yes. As far as action of aqua regia on platinum and gold are concerned, correct? That is when gold reacts with, yes, it is when gold reacts with aqua regia. Aqua regia contains, yes, it is NO3 minus from nitric acid, H plus from acid, Cl minus from hydrochloric acid. This is what we call it as aqua regia, that contains NO3 minus, H plus ions and Cl minus ions. When aqua regia comes in contact with gold, gold will be converted to its corresponding chloride, that is AlCl4 minus R. Gold will be converted to, yes, it is AlCl4 minus R. This is, yes, it is soluble form of gold here, yes. And of course, along with the formation of nitric oxide and water there, nitric oxide and water. This is what we call it as reaction here. This is tetrachlorido, yes, it is tetrachlorido orate 3 ion. ಇದರ ಹೆಸರೇನು? ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ nomenclature. Tetrachlorido orate 3 ion. 3 is the oxidation number of gold. Yes. ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? 4Cl ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ 4Cl ಮೈನಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಸ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, H ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4Cl Cl4 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 4Cl ಮೈನಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಇದೆ. ಎಸ್, ಇದರ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 2 ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ 3, 2H2O ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆಗ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 3 ಆಯ್ತು. ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ 4 ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ 4H ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೀರಿ. ಎಸ್, ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 4H, 4 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 4 minus 0 and it is minus 1. Here also minus 1. Therefore, it is equation is balanced. That is, when gold reacts with aqua regia, you are going to get a complex that is tetrachlorido. Yes, it is orate 3 ion. This is a soluble complex of gold. Yes, in aqua regia. Similarly, when platinum comes in contact with aqua regia, yes, correct bariri. Yes. When platinum comes in contact with aqua regia, yes, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ದೇನೋ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ದೇನಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? That leads to the formation of platinum. Yes, it is PtCl6 minus 2 there. This is PtCl6 minus 2, and of course along with the formation of nitric oxide and water there. ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ nitric oxide ಮತ್ತೆ water ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Yes, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ oxidation number of platinum 0 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it will be 4. It will be 4. ನೋಡಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ platinum x chloride minus 126 equals minus 12. Therefore x is equal to plus 4. Yes, oxidation number of platinum is to 4. 0 becomes 4 alva, change is 4. ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ 4 ಗೆ. ಎಸ್, ಇದರ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಎಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 2. ನೈಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 2 there. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5. ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5 becomes ಪ್ಲಸ್ 2. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜ್? 3. ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 3Pt ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಹಾಕ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್, ಎಸ್, ಓಕೆನಾ? 3Pt ಹಾಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ 18 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಇಲ್ದಂಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿ 18Cl ಮೈನಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4NO ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಏನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು? ಈಗ ನೀವು 4NO ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ 4NO ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಸ್, ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಎಸ್, ಇಸ್ 12 ಇದೆ. ಎಸ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ 12 ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 4 ಇದೆ. 12 ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 8H2O ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆಗ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ 16 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಈಗ 16H ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಎಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 16 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಎಸ್, minus 4 ಇದೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ minus 18 ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? minus 18 minus 4 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 16 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ minus 6 ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 3 into minus 2, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ minus 6 ಇದೆ. Equation is balanced. ಹೌದಾ? And as far as name of this is concerned, yes, ಇದರ ನೇಮ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ hexachloride. ಇದು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಎಸ್, hexachloride platinate 4 ion. Hexachloride platinate 4 ion because oxidation number of platinum is 4. Total charge of PtCl6 is minus 2. ಓಕೆನಾ? ఈ PTCl6 total charge -2, AuCl4 minus total charge -1 ಹೌದಾ. ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ +3 ಇಲ್ಲಿ +4. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ as action of aqua regia on, yes, it is gold and platinum. As we have, hydrochloric acid is one of the components in aqua regia. That's why we have this discussion under this particular headline. Yes, under the chemical properties of hydrochloric acid. Now at this moment, we'll see action of some salts like, yes, it is next property there. Hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, yes, and sodium sulfite. Hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, sodium sulfite, yes, and of course in presence of, yes, it is HCl there. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, hydrochloric acid decomposes carbonates into carbon dioxide. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, when carbonate salts react with dilute acids, you are going to get effervescence of carbon dioxide. ಹೌದಾ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ರಾಡಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಟ್ HCl ಅನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಬನೇಟ್ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ effervescence of carbon dioxide ಬರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದು. Then you are going to add sodium chloride and of course along with the formation of water. Na2 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 2 NaCl, ಆಗ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ 2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, 2 HCl. Equation is balanced. ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ when HCl reacts with sodium bicarbonate, you are going to get NaCl, carbon dioxide and water, same reaction. Yes, and of course equation is balanced, right? ಇಲ್ಲಿ when sodium sulfite, this is sodium sulfite. ಇದೇನಿದು sodium carbonate, ಇದೇನಿದು sodium bicarbonate, ಇದು sodium sulfite. Carbonate to bicarbonates and they liberate carbon dioxide. Sulfites, when they come in contact with HCl, you are going to get sulfur dioxide along with the formation of NaCl and water there. Same reaction. ಹೌದಾ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Na2 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ therefore it is 2 NaCl ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ 2 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 2 HCl, and of course the equation is balanced. This is when sodium sulfite reacts with hydrochloric acid, you are going to get sulfur dioxide. You know that carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, they are acidic. Strong acid displaces weak acids from their salts. Strong acid displaces weak acids from their salts. That is the generalization that we can have here, that we can observe here. This is what we call it as action of hydrochloric acid on some salts like carbonates and bicarbonates. Aggodalla. So this is what we call it as properties of, yes, it is hydrochloric acid. Under the uses of, yes, it is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is used in the extraction of gold and platinum in the form of aqua regia. Yes, hydrochloric acid is used in the manufacture of chlorine by Deacon's process. Nodidavalla now. When hydrochloric acid is subjected to catalytic oxidation in presence of cupric chloride, chlorine gas is coming out. That is, hydrochloric acid is used in the manufacture of chlorine gas. Apart from that, it is used in the manufacture of glucose from starch, or you can say in the preparation of glue from, yes, it is bones, and that is what we call it as the uses of hydrochloric acid. Yes, Gina? Yes. Apart from that, this hydrochloric acid is used in the manufacture of ammonium chloride. As I said, when HCl reacts with ammonia, you are going to get ammonium chloride. In the extraction of glue, gum-like substance from bones, this hydrochloric acid is used. Okay, na? So this is what we call uses of hydrochloric acid. Now at this moment, we'll go for the next topic, that is oxyacids of, yes, it is halogens. Oxyacids of halogens. And as far as halogens are concerned, they have that tendency of forming oxyacids. And of course, fluorine can form only one oxyacid, that is, oh yeah, this is a hypofluorous acid. Yes, that is, fluorine can form only one type of oxyacid, that is hypofluorous acid. But other halogens can form different types of oxyacids. Like chlorine can form hypochlorous acid, chlorous acid, chloric acid, perchloric acid. Whereas bromine, that can form bromic acid and hypobromic acid. Iodine can form, yes, it is iodic acid, and of course hyperiodic acid. Yes, bromine can form bromic acid, that is, bromic acid is of the type HBrO3. Perbromic acid, HBrO4. Iodic acid, HiO3. Periodic acid, HiO4. And of course, chlorine can form all types of acids, oxyacids, hypochlorous acid, chlorous acid, chloric acid, perchloric acid. And you are supposed to study the structure of acids each there. Okay, now look at this. First, all right, this is what we call it as hypochlorous acid. That is. This is hypochlorous acid. Yes. So here, oxidation number of chlorine is +1. Oxidation number of chlorine is +1. That you can calculate. Yes. Next one, ಈ structure ಹಾಗೆ retain ಮಾಡಿ. Yes. ಈ structure ಹೀಗೆ retain ಮಾಡಿ. ಇದು as it is ಬರೆಯಿರಿ. And if I connect one double bond here, yes, this will be chlorous acid. This will be chlorous acid. Of course, OHClO formula. ಇದು HOCl, hypochlorous acid. This is chlorous acid, where oxidation number of chlorine is +3 there. Calculate ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ oxidation number of chlorine ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ +3 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಅದೇ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ರಿಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಸ್ ಈ ತರ ಇದೇ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ರಿಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಬಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಡ್ one more double bond. That is, this is chloric acid. This is chloric acid. HOClO2. HOClO2. ಹೌದಾ? This is where oxidation number of chlorine is +5 there. Corresponding to the oxidation state of chlorine, +1, +3 and +5. Apart from that, you can write, yes, it is chloric, perchloric acid. ಹೌದಾ? ಇದೇ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರೀರಿ. Yes, ನೋಡಿ, ಹೌದಾ? And of course here it is double bond. Yes. Now I'm going to write structure of, yes, it is perchloric acid. This structure as it is buried. Yes, it is HO and it is Cl, double bond, and of course double bond. Nodi, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ClO double bond 2 ಇದೆ, ClO double bond 3 ಇದೆ. This is, yes, it is perchloric acid. This is perchloric acid, or you can say HOClO3, where oxidation number of chlorine is +7 there. All are monobasic because all are characterized by, yes, it is OH group there. Among these, strongest acid is perchloric acid. Strongest acid is perchloric acid. Yes, lowest pH value. You will be surprised to know that pH of perchloric acid is less than 0, -10 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. And that is strongest possible acid, and that is what we call it as perchloric acid. Among these, its acidic strength is very high because of that electron withdrawing groups. 3 electron withdrawing groups, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ OH bond is very good, very, yes, it is weak. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು electron withdrawing group OH ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು electron withdrawing group ಇದೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 2 ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ that is OH bond is very, yes, it is weak. Therefore it readily releases H+ ions. Therefore it is strongest acid. Yes, ಅಥವಾ as the oxidation number of the central atom increases, ಇಲ್ಲಿ +1 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ +3 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ +5 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ +7 ಇದೆ. As the oxidation number of the chlorine atom increases, acidic strength also increases. And this is what we call it as oxyacids of acids chlorine. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? Yes. So that's all for now. And that is what we call it as oxyacids of chlorine. Okay na? So ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ group 17 almost complete ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. I left with only one small topic, that is interhalogen compounds ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. In the next video, we'll finish that chapter P block elements by discussing interhalogen compounds and group 18 elements. ಅದೊಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮುಗಿತದೆ. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? Thank you very much. Yes.